All right, Sean, I'm sitting here looking at your training video, and then I've typed up a lot that I want you to work on during the week. And I've included a bunch of photos as well, because I'm really big. I want you to sit down. I'm really big on you being able to sit down with a training session and, and look at the programming that I've written for you, look at my notes on what I think you can improve, and then have a photo that reinforces what I'm looking for. And I've included several photos for you. Obviously, I think that the deadlift is going really well. All of your squats look great. What I'm concerned about, not necessarily is you having a bad log press, but your log press not being at its potential. I think you're a 320-pound log presser. I think the only thing that's holding you back is technique and speed. And the thing is, once the weight gets heavier, you slow down, you lose speed, and then you sacrifice technique, because speed and technique are intertwined. You'll watch a weightlifter have perfect technique with the weight on the bar, and their next attempt, they will add 1 kilo, the smallest increment possible. And you see them just, snatch or clean and jerk a weight that looked so explosive, it looked like it was going to pop out of their hand. And you make the smallest increment adjustment possible, and they totally miss. Technique, rhythm, timing is all weight dependent. And weight is going to determine your speed with all of this. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, tell me, and I will just keep explaining it until I figure out a way for this to make sense. It's late. It's 3:15 in the morning, and I'm getting this to you because you need it before I go to bed. So what I'm seeing is I'm having you do drills where you've cleaned the log and you're dipping down, pausing, standing back up, taking a breath, quick dip, explode up, and then your jerk where you dip back underneath the log. The issue is when you're dipping down and pausing, you're not dipping as low as you are when you do a full jerk. So you're dipping down about 85%, and then you're standing up, and then you're going way below that, a longer range of motion. And the biggest issue that I see, because we're not getting everything replicated because you're not doing the same range of motion, the biggest issue I see is that you're not fully extending up. So you have to remember that the log is resting across your chest, and you are essentially jumping. Okay, if you don't fully jump up as high as you can, then you didn't take the log up as high as you could with your legs, which are much bigger and much stronger than your shoulders and triceps, which is you're finishing the press. You're getting it way freaking up here. And then when you're missing, it's going out in front of you. We'll get to that in a second. But I think you have to fully extend up. And I understand the reason by not doing it. You're so focused about with finishing the rep, dropping underneath it as quickly as possible, that you're not fully extending all the way up. It's probably the number one reason why most weightlifters will miss a jerk is they won't have the patience. I've heard it in Greek so many times, but they won't have the patience to fully extend all the way up. And the bar is traveling by itself, and you're not really pressing up, but you're pressing yourself down. If you watch someone, Oksana Slavenko and Lydia Valentin, if you watch them clean and jerk, they do the really short, quick leg drive up, and then the bar doesn't move from there. They go down under the bar, and they just brace themselves under the bar. That's all it is. There's no jerk whatsoever. But you can't do that with that maximal of weight unless you fully extend up as high as you possibly can. I've included some photos on your weekly training programming of me doing that. Carol Baskin pointing out where I'm doing it correctly, and some much better photos of my wife doing it correctly as well. And I want you to pay attention to how fully extended we are, and then go back and watch your videos and see how fully extended you are not. I'm looking right now at my screen. That's why I keep looking over this way. I don't know if you can see it in your glasses, dog and cat. I'm looking at the screen right now, and you're pressing out in front of you, and there could be some issues with rear delts, upper back mobility. You can try some light foam rolling, some band pull aparts, anything that would give you a little bit more rear delt upper back mobility to finish that press out. Probably a slightly better warm-up. I'll program that in this week a little bit better. Making sure we're not tiring you out in your warm-ups, but making sure that your body is firing for your warm-ups. Now, I think what I see is when you're dipping down, the log seems to be in line with your knees. And what I want is that log needs to stay in line. Bruce says hi. Bruce says hi. Say hi. I know. What we want is we want that log to stay in line with your heels, or at least the blade of your foot and your hips. If that log is in line with your knees, that means it's way out in front of you, and you're going to be driving with your toes, calf raise, not even with your quads. So when making the choice between your butt, which is going to be your entire back as well, hamstrings, quads, hips, versus a little bit of quads, a lot of calves, and just some movement with the log to finish that press, we got to get that log set back on the hips, and we got to use the entire leg to get the drive up. Hope that makes some sense. So you've got the video. I'll save the video as well. So if you didn't save it, I've got all the files. I can send them back to you. I can work late this week and break them down in slow motion, but I've got to get a few more days deep in my work week before I can slow down and get that to you. Unless you need it. You need it fast, then I'll get it done. I can't get it done Monday, but I can get it done Tuesday. Hope that makes sense. If it doesn't make perfect sense, video me back, message me back. I'll give you my phone number. We'll talk it out, whatever we need. But you're a 320 log presser and you're getting stuck at 280 because of technique, not because of strength. So let me send this to you. Let me finish your programming, and we'll talk tomorrow, man.